are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Let's get your weekend started on Fridays with your one and only new host, Denise. Bringing you amped, raw, and fun energy to entertain as you end your week to welcome your weekend. Denise will bring new friends, celebrities, entrepreneurs, topic experts, musicians, foodies, local events, news, and much more to educate, celebrate, motivate, relax, and relate. As she says, let's make your mess your message. So let's get this party started. Here's Denise.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. You know, it's Friday, and it's actually a 3-day weekend, I believe we're having, because Friday, and I believe Monday is a holiday. President's Day. It is. So we're really in a good mood here. So hopefully my show will get you even a better mood with all that we have going on. I've got a great lineup for you all, and I just want you to know that some of the stories that we're going to be sharing are going to be really good. I actually have an extra special guest, and you know me, I like to have surprise guests sometime. So we want to make sure that we get you here. Call in if you want to. The show number is 888-565-1470. Once again, 888-565-1470. Feel free to ask a question of me or of our guests that are here. Commentary, everything is open, and we're here to listen and share whatever it is that you have to share with us. So tonight, very, very special. We're going to make sure that you understand that this show is for you and that you are being able to close your week out, let everything let go, and go ahead and roll into a great weekend with the stories that we share, the laughter we're going to have, and of course, yes, the glass of wine, because it is the happy hour show. This is what we are. And I actually have to tell my dad, my dad said to me, how much do you drink on the show? I said, Dad, I only drink one glass. I don't ever even finish it. So there you go. I made a disclaimer. All right. So any questions that we have from any of the individuals sitting out in our audience, they're welcome to also ask questions. This is an open forum. This show is about great stories that are uplifting, stories that actually tell of overcoming obstacles, you know, really being at the high and jumping down to the low and then coming back to the high and the comeback and the story behind that. That's what we try to do. And I think we're going to be able to deliver that today. So, who do we have with us today? I have the official Sarah Childs. We're introducing a segment, and we're calling the segment Working the Dream. And we have plenty of individuals that have so many great stories, but we actually have our very first one. Her name is Sarah, and she has a guest. Look who it is. It is my very first dog guest. I think I have to share that for those of you that are on Facebook Live. I just need to make sure you say that. Hey. You see that? And if you're on Instagram, make sure you know that this is like an amazing thing. This is like the first time. Freddie, is this your first time with a dog here in the station? No. Okay. So he might have had an ostrich or something. I don't know. But be as it may, it's a lot of fun to know that I have a dog here, and he's absolutely the cutest thing. Look at the tongue. Oh, my goodness. Sarah, thank you for bringing him and making it very interesting. So welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to being the first one in this segment where we are going to be calling Working the Dream.
Yes.
And we're going to hear about where you came from, and that's what we do here. We build a little bit about who you are as a person, and you're going to be setting a benchmark because we want to have others like yourself that are going to be telling a story of where they were and how they got to where they got to today, because nothing is out without trial and tribulation. So we want to make sure that we put that all together. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Sarah, and let's start from the very beginning. Tell me where you were originally from.
The very beginning, well, I'm from Germany.
From Germany?
Germany, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so I'm actually from a very small town, I would say 1,500 people.
So you grew up in a town of 1,500 people?
Yes, maybe 2,000 by now, but it's very small, very traditional.
Right.
Yeah.
We can sit in a theater and get that amount of people. My goodness. So how long did you live in Germany before coming here?
So I lived my whole life in Germany. I've been living in America for 5 years.
Wow.
So yeah, I lived in Atlanta for 4 years.
Okay.
And moved to Miami like a year ago.
All right. So what brought you to America?
My ex-husband.
Your ex-husband.
Yeah, I was married.
Okay.
He was in the military. We moved here, and then after a while, it just
didn't work out.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit beforehand, but the thing that I found very interesting in our discussions, and I'm going to go over some of the points because we're going to see you here a couple more times because we want to talk more about your story and the drive that it took to get to where you are today and what your aspirations are. So that's what this segment is all about. So I'm going to recap. You grew up in Germany in a very small town.
Very small town.
And what was it like living there in a very small town? Did you think that you ever make it to America? Was that an aspiration for yours?
So I never really fit in there. People always told me, you don't belong in here. I was always more so having friends in bigger cities.
Okay.
I mean, the next city was like 20,000 people instead of 3,000 or 2,000. So it was a little bigger.
Right.
And I was 18.
That's my neighborhood.
Exactly. That's your neighborhood. My neighborhood now, too.
Right.
When I was 18, I moved to like a way bigger city. I don't know,
Okay.
like 100,000 people maybe. So
you have the city life in you.
It leveled up. I always had the city life in me. I do love the nature. The older I get, I love the nature.
Mm-hmm.
But the city life is definitely more mine.
It is.
More opportunities, more open. People
Okay.
definitely more open-minded here.
Okay. Oh,
I
so
have
we have.
Paola on hold.
By the way, I didn't introduce the dog's name. It's Dior. How perfect, Dior. He's got all the attire, and he also has the jewelry to match with it.
Yeah.
He's so cute. He's adorable. So here we have a call. Yeah. Oh, we have a call. Okay, you have a call. All righty. Who do we have on the line?
Hi, my name is Paola.
Hi, Paola.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks so much for dialing in. So what could we ask for
Paola,
what you have to say?
No, I have some questions for Sarah because I'm thinking about to do my lip blush.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to know how long does it last?
So it lasts about 3 years. I actually got my lips blushed 5 years ago, and I still can see something.
So for those that are listening, one of the things that has been on Sarah's journey is her opening up her own business. So we kind of jumped a little bit into where we are today. But with Sarah, she actually started her own business after coming here to the United States and aspiring to do what you're doing today, among other things. So what actually Sarah does is permanent makeup. Is that right?
Yes, permanent makeup.
Permanent makeup. So I guess really you must have had some followers that are very curious and want to go ahead and ask you a question. So you asked the question, how long does the lip
blush? How long it lasts? Yeah. I would say between 1 and 3 years. It's different in between everybody, but for the most part, it lasts about good 3 years.
Okay.
So it's semi-permanent. So over the years, it gets a little lighter. But like I said, I have mine for 5 years, and I still can see it.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
I would not ever imagine doing that on my lips, but I also know you have an extended menu of things. So Paola, did she answer your question?
Yeah, well, I have another question.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to know if it hurts.
Does it hurt?
Everybody pain tolerance is different. I would say. I do use numbing
Okay.
as anesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hear from the peanut gallery that it does hurt. It sounds like it hurts.
yeah. So the numbing has epinephrine and lidocaine in it. So I use it like 30 minutes before the procedure and then during the procedure.
Okay.
So some clients like fall asleep.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah,
my.
they even fall asleep.
All right, well, there you
it gets
go.
really, really numb.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that answered your question, Paola. Thank you so much for dialing in, and stay tuned. We hope to see you again
Okay.
dialing in.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So I know that we went right to what you're doing now, and this is
Yeah.
part of your story, is the fact that you become an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You started your own business. Here you are coming from another country, you were married, and now it didn't work out, so you had to find a way to reinvent yourself.
I did.
Yes. And which is, it's a story that happens again and again, thousands of times a day. And, for women itself, it could be a little bit harder than for the men, but be as it may, it's still hard to try to reinvent yourself, period.
Yes.
What would you say was the one thing that kept you going? Because, you know what, you're in a different country,
Yeah.
right? So this is like a lot to have to deal with. Our customs and our ways that we do things. And how did you find the courage to do all that? Like, what was it that said, okay, I can't stay married, I'm done with this? What was the next step for you?
So I actually have my bachelor in psychology. So
Okay.
when I was married, I worked in a daycare for $10 an hour. I didn't know that was barely money. So I told myself I want to get into a business. I always love doing makeup and permanent makeup. It was more so like a lot of research, a lot of consistency. Don't be scared, and just a drive to want more.
Well, I mean, those are really three great things to say. Having the consistency, which is
Consistency
very,
is
very
key.
important.
Yeah.
And to also have the courage to do that, very, very important. And the thriving part of it, aspiring to want to do more. I mean, that's great stuff. Freddie, could we show a little bit of what Sarah does for those of you that are driving along and listening? Obviously, you can't see what I'm going to be showing right now, but we have a little bit of what Sarah looks like when she's working. Very cute. So we actually have some really great pictures. You can see Sarah individually, and she's actually have a little bit of a show, or I should say there's something that's going to be coming up that we'll be learning a little bit more about down the road, but that's why you see such great photos of her individually. But more importantly, you see that she's working, doing her dream, what was so important to you. So I have to ask you, that what you're doing right now in one of the pictures, are you actually building a hairline for a man?
Yeah, it's actually called SMP, scalp micropigmentation. It's if men have density in hair, if they don't grow hair anymore, you can recreate a hairline and make the hair appear fuller.
Wow.
So it's still it's semi-permanent. It's a needle and then implant really small hair dots basically in the scalp.
That must take a
And
very
then it
long
looks-
time.
About 3 to 4 hours a session. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Well, listen, if you want to have some more hair, I guess that's one way to make it happen and
You
make
can
it
do
look.
it on females as well. If you have a very thin hair and you can see your skin,
Oh, that's smart.
you can make it look thicker, fuller.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So,
great thing.
Sarah, what would be the best way to reach you?
My Instagram.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
What is
my
the handle?
Instagram. So my personal Instagram is official Sarah Childs.
Okay.
And the business page is the same, official Sarah Childs.pmu.
All righty then.
So,
So
yeah.
if anyone wants to go and find out more about these services and want to meet Sarah yourself, because there's some special things that she's going to be making announcements about in our next couple of times that we see her, you can reach her also and her DM, and you can do that right through her Instagram page.
Yes. Or email on my Instagram page as
Okay.
well.
Email as well. What's the email address?
The email is linked on my business page, but it is booking.sarahchilds@yahoo.com.
Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. We have to really give it a round of applause, seriously, only because of the fact that we have someone that came here with a story, knew nothing of our customs or ways, and went ahead and was. We just had someone saying a word they shouldn't say very well. Thank you so much for doing that. You're having some chuckles already. There you go. Good job, Sarah. And thank you so much for having Dior be with us. I'm so excited. He's welcome here anytime. He's like the best behaved dog I've ever seen.
I bring him always. Yeah, he's my baby.
What kind of dog is he?
French bulldog.
A French bulldog.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's very well-mannered. Thanks again for coming. We're going to go ahead and go to a commercial. Do we have a moment for that? Yes. All righty then. We'll be right back.
Along the sun-drenched beaches of Boca Raton lies AMP2 Media. We strive to bring rising stars and their fantastic work into the spotlight. From music to art, we have the tools and the talent you need to help you reach the next level. AMP2 Media is proud to announce our new scoring platform for reality shows, movies, and videos. We have the ability to highlight music according to what the eye sees on the screen. Our excellent mastery of music allows us into the deepest part of your film. Our different sounds allow your film work to come to life. For more information, call our studios at 866-224-5422 or visit our website at amp2.tv. Let AMP Media Productions bring your media to life.
Have you been injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or through the negligence of another? The lawyers at Shane M. Farnsworth, PA have over 40 years of combined experience representing injured individuals and their families. Call us today at 561-272-8337 for a free case evaluation and the answers to your legal questions. Were you injured in an accident that wasn't your fault? Don't let the insurance companies take advantage of you. Contact us now to learn about your options and to protect your rights.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. So we just had a really nice guest on. It's a segment that we're introducing to the Power Up Media Show, and it's a segment that's focused on working the dream, where we have young, up-and-coming individuals that are going to be sharing their stories and joining us to give us more inspiration and how they're making goals happen every day. So with that, this is the next segment. So I wanted to share with everyone what's going on with Denise. There is an event that's coming up, and it's a women empowerment conference, and it's going to be February 26th at 6 in the evening. And we have some really great guests lined up. And actually, if you wish to want to look it up on any Instagram, or if you want to go on Facebook, it's Deep Roots. That's the name of the actual conference. And it's presented by, or I should say hosted by Jeanette Davila. So I am going to be on there. If you are looking at the screen, I really would love to have you all follow at least and support the event. I would love to see you there. And hands out to anyone that does. I certainly would love to meet you in person if you are following me and watching and support the show. It means a lot to me. So stay tuned. Once again, that is Deep Roots presents Women Empowerment. That's Saturday, February 26th at 6 p.m. And there's an early bird special. If you buy your tickets, well, it already passed. But if you want to go ahead and do a general admission, you can see it's $25, and if you wanted to go on virtually, it's $10. That's something else these days, that you have to actually include a virtual way of watching the show. But you know what? It expands the reach. That's the great thing about that. All righty. Well, moving on, we're going to introduce you to our next guest. And I have Joe Rubo. So this is like the best thing I can actually, I'm so excited about this because it brings me back in time. And let's just go ahead and say what I have here. Joe is an American film actor, producer, best known for his performance known as David Boaz. Am I right?
No.
Oh,
Boaz was the director.
Oh,
Boaz
sorry.
Davidson.
That's what I should have said.
David. Yeah.
As a character David, in the 1982 coming-of-age comedy and drama known as The Last American Virgin. And you take me back in time. You really are. You're taking me back in time, and I know that you've also had some really significant other roles.
Yes.
That I did a little bit of research, and some of the best movies. I apologize. I did not know that you were in some of the best movies that I actually liked most.
Thank you.
And some of those we had here. I was a movie called Hot Chili, which is a teen sex comedy movie. And then I did not know this. You were also in The World According to Garp.
Correct. Yeah, it was my first film.
That was
gig,
your
yeah.
first film.
Uh-huh.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic movie.
Great working with Robin Williams.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how old were you in that movie?
17.
You were 17.
Yeah, 16 going on 17. Yeah, I was young.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw that movie too.
Yeah, I played one of the wrestlers.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so you played the role of the wrestler, and then when he was around that age,
Yeah.
he was in school.
Yeah.
Great movie. How was it working with him?
Awesome, great guy. You know, he just made it easy for everybody, and he talked to he sat with everyone. He didn't have no star ego or anything. He was just
Sure.
a great guy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And also another movie known as Striptease.
Awesome movie.
With Demi Moore,
Yeah,
is that right?
That was quite an experience. Always had a crush on Demi Moore, and I got to be in the movie with her.
It was a great movie.
Yeah,
It's a great movie.
And another thing with that, one of my childhood idols was Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
So I got to be with him in the movie.
That's right. He was in the movie. He thought that Demi
and
Moore
he
was an angel.
He was the coolest. I mean,
What?
you know, we were talking about the Hurricanes, and he played for the Seminoles, so we had like a little rivalry going on there.
Right.
I mean, great guy.
Wow, you've had the opportunity to meet some really iconic
Yes,
people.
pretty lucky.
Pretty lucky.
Yeah.
So let's go back in time because we want to understand how all this came to be. I think I did understand that you're from the Bronx.
From the Bronx, New York.
All
yes.
righty then. Well, we're from Brooklyn.
Shout out the Bronx.
There you go, the Bronx. What part of the Bronx?
I was born in Misericordia Hospital. Then I lived in Colden Avenue by Boston Post Road.
Okay.
And then we moved to the West Bronx by closer to Yonkers.
Close to the Yonkers.
Yeah.
DeKalb?
Yeah. Man
Okay.
knows. Man. Yeah.
You're among family.
Yeah, that was a nice area back then.
I was in another borough.
Yeah.
I was in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn? Used to go there once in a while.
Yeah.
Went there and came back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's okay. We didn't need you
But
anyway.
I've been living in Florida a long time, since
How long?
1990.
Since 1990.
Yeah.
Wow. What brought you down to Florida?
My family all came down, and I came down to Florida to get away from the craziness
Okay.
there with my friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I came to Florida not to get in trouble.
No, well,
So how
well,
that
that's a
went.
whole different story.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. But let's go back though. So here you are. You were born in Bronx. You were from the Bronx, and you were in school. And how did the whole story come about? That I wanted to.
I have Chianti on hold.
Thank you. Okay.
What happened was when I was in high school, I was the clown, of course, class clown.
Okay.
And my mom was kind of like a stage mother. She, since we were younger, she was pushing us for commercials and stuff like that. And then when I was old enough, I said, screw it, I'm going to give it a shot. So when I graduated high school, well, actually my senior year, I started going on auditions.
Okay.
And my second audition, I got, like, towards the end of my senior year, I got the World According to Garp. It was an extra role, but for me, it was my first. But it was an
Yeah.
upgraded extra. You saw me a lot in the
Yeah.
movie,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. After that, I auditioned for a couple of more things, and like my fourth audition, I landed The Last American Virgin.
Wow.
Which was
Wait, that's just so you class clown. I get it. I can
Yeah,
see it.
you can see
Somehow
that,
I can see that. I really can.
Yeah.
But I also sense that you had this brewing in you, and Mom saw it in you.
Yeah, Mom
She
saw
did.
it in me. Yes, she did. So did Dad. I played the drums in high school in a band. I always just liked to be the center of attention and
Really?
be an idiot sometimes. You know what I mean? But that's just me. And I got lucky. The second audition or third audition I went for, I got a major role in this movie, and I was like, and after that I did a few more things. But that movie like took on a life of itself. It's got like a cult following.
It does. Well,
Yeah.
if you think about it, I mean, it's in the 80s. There's nothing like the 80s.
Yeah,
A lot of
no
great
movies like that anymore. Yeah.
No, there is not. Unfortunately, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
But for what that movie represented, I mean, a pack of boys
Yeah.
essentially coming into their own,
Yes. Yeah.
putting it nicely.
And the soundtrack was like,
The soundtrack was great.
Yeah.
We have to actually play the soundtrack. We'll go ahead and...
soundtrack was awesome.
We have a caller. Hold on a second. Oh, okay. So is it Chianti? All righty. Are you there, Chianti?
Yes, I'm here.
Well, hi, and welcome to the Power Up Radio Show. Thanks for dialing in. Do you have a question?
Hi. Yes, I do. I have a question for Sarah.
Oh, okay. We can bounce back to that real quick. Can we do that, Freddie, real quick? Bounce back? Okay. All right, go ahead. Go ahead and
that's
ask.
fine.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I wanted to ask her a question. I know she does the lip blush, and I wanted to ask, being that I'm African American, can I choose the color that I want for my lips?
So you're not
Or
able.
like, how does that work?
Yeah, so Afro Americans, they have melanin in their lips, which is considered blue or purple on the color wheel. And to be able to get your lip lighter, we would have to neutralize it, which would be the opposite side of the color wheel. So I have to work with orange or yellow tones based on your undertone, and that's how your lip basically lightens up. So it heals in like a natural pink blush.
All right. Well, thank you so much. That's actually I just learned something.
Yeah.
I did. That was
Me too.
interesting.
Yeah.
We're going to test you later on it. Thank you so much, Kathy, for dialing in. Please make sure you follow us and stay tuned for future shows. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
So going back to like, did you get all that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Took
there's
notes.
a test at the end of the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I wanted to go back to now the question around this role. Did you go to school for any acting?
No.
It was just, I mean,
Yeah.
Wow.
No, just afterwards I took acting classes, drama classes and stuff. But before I got this, no, it was my first. I was myself in the movie. I just played myself.
Did you find it hard at that age to want to remember lines in your role, or?
Actually, the director, like, he was so unique with us. Like, he worked with each one of us separately because the movie was based on a series in Israel called Popsicle Limon, which is like a huge series in Israel, and it was based on his life as
Wow.
a child. So, I was originally contracted to do 4 films of this nature.
Okay.
And then they split up. Menachem Golan, Globus, and Bose Davidson, they split. They went their separate ways, just my luck. But he was just, the way he worked with us, like, he would want, like, the one scene with Carmela, everyone knows that scene. He wanted us nervous, you know what I
Right.
mean? So he got that one first. He shot that
Why
first.
don't you give us a rated G version of that
Well,
particular scene?
it was a nude scene, and I was 17 years old. So, just the back of me. But I was with this lady. She was an older lady, and it was nude, and I was basically crapping my pants. You know what I mean? I was scared to death, and he caught that on camera. My face, he caught me like, that was just me being scared. Really, I really wasn't
Wow.
acting. And then after that, the rest of the movie just flowed. Everything was just like natural. I just, and he would say on our close-ups, he goes, your face is going to be, with his accent, your face is going to be as big as the Empire State Building. So get it right. And we got it right. I mean, it was awesome. He just brought so much out of me that I didn't even know I had, And, even after we did the second film, Hot Chili, he wasn't the director. I had a great director there, but I just remember all the stuff that Bo has taught me. And they were calling me One Take Joe on that set because I remembered,
Oh, wow. So it just took that one
Yeah.
director to get you just in the right mindset.
Yeah, that nude scene was definitely one take. I wasn't going back in there for that.
Goodness.
Yeah.
For those who have not watched the movie, I suggest that you do. It'll take you back in time, and it's actually a feel good movie, but it's a very truthful movie about boys wanting to certainly come into their own
Yes.
and be like the rest of the crowd.
Yes. And I was not the virgin in the movie.
No. Okay then. What would you say would have been your favorite scene? So is it the one that you just mentioned,
No.
or tell us? Do tell us.
My favorite scene in the movie is probably the party scene, the first party scene when I fell in the pool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was like a party, It was like a bunch of young people together, music going. There was some drinking going on during the shoot, and it just was fun. It was like a real party.
Right.
Yeah.
No masks.
No, no mask.
No mask at the time.
No. But I remember when I fell in that pool, it was freezing that night,
Oh, was it?
and I had to do that twice
And where was it filmed?
in L.A.
Oh, it was in
all through California, the hills,
Okay.
Encino, everywhere. It was all location, no studio stuff.
So help me remember, is that before or after? Was that in the beginning part of the movie when you fell into the pool, or where?
It was towards the middle.
Towards the middle.
Yeah.
It was. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I know that in this movie it was supposed to be sequeled, and is there any chance of a possible reunion?
Well, you brought up a great point before. Like they don't make movies like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, they want to do it, but a lot of the fans don't want us to do it. They don't want to taint it because some remakes that were done, like I was watching the Footloose remake the other day. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
come on. I mean, I don't. But then we were thinking of doing a remake and like of us all having cameos in it.
Oh, I think that's fantastic.
Keep the
I love that.
originality.
Yeah.
So that's something we're going to talk about during the reunion.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's see a clip. Can we play the clip? Sure. Alrighty. So
Who's that guy?
and there he is.
Listen, Gary, I gotta ask you a small favor. Can you lend me the key to your grandmother's tonight? Or I got a date with Karen and I want to be alone, Yeah, well, listen, Gary, this is really important to me. I mean, tonight could really be the big night, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, I'll give you the key tonight. All right, thanks a lot, man. I owe you one, okay?
and there he is.
Hey, what's shaking, guys?
How's it going, Rick?
Hi, what's happening? Hey, you know what's happening.
Seems like yesterday.
Let's have what?
What do you mean, let me have what? I believe we talked about a key to somebody's grandmother's house.
Look, Rick, I looked all over for it. I couldn't find it.
Didn't we look for it, David?
Yeah, we did. We couldn't find it anywhere.
Well, that's great. Thanks for telling me on time. Now what am I supposed to do? David, what about your parents' guest house?
No way.
Dave.
That's been off limits since Big Earl smoked danger dust, and he ate my mom's parakeet.
I'll be cool. All I need is an hour with her.
Sorry, man. I wish I could help you.
Okay, so just have to call it off, Rick. Come on, David, let's go. You guys are such a...
Wow. How does it feel watching that?
I just look like my son. It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's,
Wow.
yeah, it's a long time ago.
Is it like yesterday?
When I'm watching it, I feel like I'm there. Because I remember we were making fun at Steve when he was saying, I believe I talked about a key. And we had to keep doing it because we started cracking up so many times. Yeah, it feels like
A lot of
yesterday.
blooper moments,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's actually one of my favorite parts when those things happen. I really want to ask you a question, though.
Sure.
So you stayed in the Bronx, or I should say,
Well,
for how long?
When I filmed the movie, I was living in like Westchester, Putnam County in Brewster.
Okay.
I was out of the Bronx then, but close, like 30 minutes away.
Right.
But I was in school in Westchester. I went to John F. Kennedy High School in Westchester, and I was living in New York. So after I did the movie, I stayed out there for a while, and I did a lot of commercials and stuff. Did like FedEx commercials and stuff like that. I should have stayed. I would have got a lot more work, but I was home. I was an Italian boy, homesick.
How
I
old
wanted
were
to get
you
mo-
then, at that
I was
point?
after it came out. I was 18, 19 years old.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
I just wanted to come home.
Aw.
I should have stayed. I would have did a lot more work for sure.
So here you went back home.
Yeah.
And what did you wind up doing? Like, what was, did you have to reinvent yourself, or what was some of the things that because I mean, there's a lot to be done in New York as well.
We did a premiere in New York City, and we did one in L.A., and we were shocked, like, how many people. We didn't see the movie completed till to the premiere, so it was not like
Right.
today. You couldn't
Right.
watch it on reel. So we all saw it for the first time, and we freaked out. And the movie theater went crazy on that one scene. That's the way. I like it. If the people know what that one means.
It's another goodie.
And we just, it was just an experience. I remember my father, my mother being there, my family being there, and when the movie didn't come out. Like I filmed and it didn't come out for almost a year later. So people started stopping believing me. What movie? You're not in no movie. And then it came out and it was like, it did really well in the box office. And then when it went to cable, when it went on cable TV, I couldn't go anywhere. People were recognizing me everywhere. So I had a little starburst for a little while there.
Right,
everywhere I
right.
went.
What would you say that's like and talk about that, because I would imagine that people, kids, anyone that wants to go into the same path that you did.
Yeah.
What is that stardom like? I mean, does it have the ability to take you off course? Does it derail you? Does it shock you? What would be some of the takeaways that if you're going to go down this path, there's things to be
My advice would
concerned
be
about?
grab it while you can because it doesn't last long. But
Okay.
it's still funny now. I mean, we're talking 40 years later. People still
40
recognize me
years.
from this movie. Still.
Still?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, still recognize me from the movie. And some of my fans, people that watch it, they know more about it than I do. Like I go on some radio shows and stuff. The Ralph Vitale's show, he knows more about the movie than I know. Like I forgot about that. How do you know that, Ralph? It's crazy. And I think this reunion's going to bring a lot of people together.
I'm excited. I hope I get an
Yeah.
invitation.
Hopefully,
It'd be
without a doubt.
I love the movie. I thought it was great. The
Yeah.
music reminds me and brings me right back to the days of
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
the nightclubs. I'm dating myself here, but I truly remember Whip It Good. I mean, that's
Yeah,
great
Evo.
music. They don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
They don't do it at all. So when you were back in New York, so you went ahead and were you doing more acting, or were
Yes,
you
I did,
auditioning for more things? So you kind of kept that momentum going.
I kept it going, but not as hard as I should have.
Mm-hmm.
I was making a ton of money from the cable. I was a young kid. I think I bought 2 or 3 Trans Ams back then and stuff. And I went to college. I went back to college for a little bit, but I did a whole Federal Express campaign and Ace Hardware commercials. So I was making money from that. I was doing that, and And then I was on the David Letterman. I was a regular on the David Letterman show.
Yes, I want to talk about
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I had to do a little research. So you
Well,
were
actually 4 times, not a regular, but it was good enough.
That's
man.
good enough.
4 times, yeah.
That's a great late night show.
Yeah, I
So
played
you
his
the
stepson.
the
Yeah,
stepson?
yeah. Did you see that? That was an hysterical.
It was
clip.
hysterical.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I remember my dad, God rest his soul, said, "You weren't acting for that one when you asked him for the money." yeah.
Some things just seem very
Yeah.
natural.
And another great guy, awesome guy. I mean, we're running lines in the dressing room together. He's like laughing with me,
Right.
you know. And I wasn't starstruck till afterwards. I said, "Damn, I was just sitting there with David Letterman." You know.
So would you go home when would you watch it on TV at late night?
Yeah, because you film it during the day at
course,
5,
yeah.
and then you watched it that night. And I remember a group of us were watching it.
As many times I know, and I say this myself,
Yeah.
it's hard to either hear myself or watch myself.
Yeah, still
And
to this day.
it's
Like
kinda
when you watch
odd.
that clip, I'm like, whoa, did I really look like that on camera?
That's really great thing
Yeah.
that you did that. I think it's hysterical.
Yeah.
I wish I had the piece to share, but for those of you that want to, you can actually go ahead and Google it. It's out
Yeah,
there.
it's out
and
there.
You can actually see it.
Actually, there's only one that I could find. I can't find the other 3.
oh,
So I might ask them themselves to send it to me.
I
But that one was the latest one in 1990. The
Oh,
other ones
okay.
were all before.
it's probably somewhere in the archives.
Yeah.
the infamous archives. Where are those archives anyway? I know that you also are working towards different projects now.
Yes.
But go back, and I'm still not done with your experience in the Jay Letterman show, and then
Yeah.
after that, you did the commercials, and
Right.
And so, did you wind up staying there and getting married, or did
Yes.
you? Okay.
I got married kind of young. I was 26. Yeah, that's young. And, by the time I was in my early 30s, I had 3 kids.
Oh,
Yes.
busy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of shifted to normal, if you want to call it normalcy life.
Right. You were
And,
dad. You
yeah.
became dad.
And, when I came down here, I got the part in Striptease. I did a few other acting things, a couple of, like B movies that, didn't go anywhere or anything, but I was in them.
Okay.
I produced a couple of them. I put up some money for some of them and stuff, but they went straight to cable or whatever you want to call it, straight to video.
Well,
straight to video. Yeah,
then.
no cable.
The
now,
cartridge.
Yeah. And that's about it. But then I got later on. I'll let you ask the questions. But then I got into production.
And got into production.
Yeah.
Okay.
And kind of in the mid '90s to early 2000s, I got into other businesses.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So did the kids have similar interests? Like, do they actually watch your movies?
Oh, they let me have it all the time about it.
Oh, really?
All the time, yeah.
Do they go running around saying and playing certain lines
Yeah.
that you did?
Yeah, they bust my chops about it.
They do.
My daughter, my oldest daughter, Nicole. I have 2 daughters. My oldest daughter, she hosted for the television show VIP TV.
Oh, okay.
She did some hosting for me. My son was actually behind the scenes. He was a studio engineer.
Okay.
Music mixer engineer. And my other daughter, Amanda, she's a character in herself, so she could be in movies.
Right.
Everybody said she reminds everybody of Jack Black with her comedy and her humor.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, look what they had for Dad.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, absolutely fall far from the tree, did it?
Can't blame them.
I can't imagine on a Sunday at the table, eating all the spaghetti and meatballs, and all of you had
Sunday
going at
dinners
it.
are a scene.
I can't imagine.
My.
I remember those very well.
Oh my.
So I know that we have. You then moved into doing the VIP TV portion.
Yes.
Okay, tell me a little bit about what that turned out, like how that came to be.
Well, VIP TV, we started it. Well, it was first Club TV in the '90s, early '90s to the late '90s. Club TV was a show on Channel 10. Every weekend you could watch it at 2:30 a.m. and it lasted a long time. We used to go to a nightclub. The production was horrid. We'd just take the camera in the nightclub, film everybody partying, drink, and have a good time, and everybody would want to watch themselves the following week.
Right.
So it had a great following. And then I started VIP TV after that, and we just kicked it up like a bunch of levels. We made it like exclusive businesses, a lot of celebrities, and the girls that you work with, Christine,
Yeah.
Karen, Kavita Shanae, Anna Maria, they all
had
started.
seemed to
they
have
all-
there at one point they were in there.
They were my main hosts.
Is that
the
right?
whole time? Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah. And hopefully,
Well, I know it's still VIP really is very well known. I
Yeah.
mean, I've heard quite a bit, and the run that you had was really really good.
Yeah.
And it's still going. You're now here. You are still running with it.
Well, now I'm doing a lot of production.
Okay. What kind of production
stuff, commercials, music videos, documentaries, but we are bringing it back. We're shooting for fall to
What are
bring
you
it
bringing back? Tell me.
VIP TV.
Ah.
Yeah,
So
we're-
you're going to go ahead and start filming in clubs again?
No, VIP TV was more of a lifestyle show.
Oh, okay.
Like, high-end businesses and then celebrity events. A lot of celebrity events. We go to events, covering a lot of charity events.
Okay.
We got behind the scenes of a lot of stuff. It was kind of like a really, you watch Deco Drive?
Yes.
Like a kind of really cool, more hip Deco Drive.
Oh.
Yeah.
As if the Deco Drives did
Yeah,
their
Deco
all
Drive's
that.
getting played. Oh, I should.
Okay. Whoops. You keep that easy.
But
So-
it had a long run, and I'm hopefully could bring it back at the end of this year. That's what we're shooting for.
No more acting? You don't see that? You get the,
Never
you
say
get the
ne-
itch? You get the
well,
itch every once in a while?
I'm working on a book
Oh.
right now.
Okay.
Donna Martuz, she's a best-selling writer. She's
Mm-hmm.
writing it with me, and it's based on my life story,
Mm-hmm.
acting, growing up in New York. The title we're throwing around is "Growing Up in the Business."
Growing up in the business.
So it means
Lots of different things.
It means three things, actually. It means I grew up in the deli business. We had an Italian deli in the Bronx.
Is it
my whole
mozzarella?
life.
Mozzarella.
And the mozzarella's were hanging, the sausages in the window, the whole thing.
Is it sauce or gravy?
Gravy.
Ah, okay.
Gravy.
He's
And,
from a different part of town.
Yep. And, then I grew up in the acting business. I started really young.
Mm-hmm.
And then I grew up in another business we could talk about later.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes, the book will tell you all, it takes threefold. It's
Mm-hmm.
threefold. And we're going to do a docuseries on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully we do a movie. That's the plan.
That's the plan. Well, are you going to be producing it?
Yeah.
Of course you are.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things of the show, Joe, that's very important to me is that when we're having conversations, anyone that's on the show, we want to make sure that they are sharing something that the crowd can relate to. I mean, obviously, what you've done
Yeah.
and in the 80s is just iconic. It's a great movies, your experience,
Yeah.
and the fact that it kind of like just fell in your lap, more or less.
Right.
And not trying that hard, that just goes to show that things just happen when they're supposed to happen. Right?
Time.
And so when you decided to, come down to Florida and, the family, and there were several businesses, and it's okay because there are parts that probably at a point in your life that, you might have made a couple of decisions that turned the wrong way.
Yes.
And I know that you had spent some time as a guest of the state to go ahead and make right what was wrong.
Right.
And so the big thing that I want...
Not the state.
Not the state?
Government.
The government. That one was with the government. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, listen, not everyone's story is different.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is.
But the thing that I want to point out here, okay, is the following: that you started out and you rolled yourself into something that just kind of fell in your lap, and then so you went out to LA, and then you came back, so you had to reinvent yourself, come back here and find a way to do it, right? So you wound up doing that, and you wound up finding different ways of different businesses to have different careers,
Right.
right? And so with that, you started your business and you moved down to Florida. Again, you have to reinvent yourself for the most
Exactly.
part, right? And then, of course, there was a roadblock that you hit, and can you actually spent how much time was it that you were?
A little more than 3 years.
A little more than 3
Yeah.
years. Okay, so you know what? No one's story is that perfect, but I'm sure that I can very easily assume that having to come out and do what you reinvent yourself again, right?
I've done it before, yeah.
So you have to understand that you are, you're a fighter.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to commend you on that, and that's something that's very important because, when we have to, we make decisions, and that's very important because sometimes, and other guests I've had, I always want to make sure that our listeners know that we make decisions that are personal to ourselves.
Yes.
And it's decisions that sometimes that it could have a domino effect. So it's very important that we always, I would think very clearly on your decisions.
Right. It's you got to be careful who you hang around with. My dad, God rest his soul, used to have a saying: if you lay with a dirty dog, you're gonna get fleas. So
Yeah.
you gotta watch your company because that reflects who you are.
Yes.
And if you're hanging out with certain people, they're gonna think you're certain people.
Yeah.
And the government don't like those certain people,
Yep.
So that's what happened with that. But I'm coming back, and it couldn't happen at a better time. I mean, the reunion is going to be huge. Huge. I sound like Donald Trump now, but it's going to be. It's going. They have definitely planned in L.A. the end of July.
Yep.
We're going to be doing the Hollywood show there. It's like a Comic-Con. We're going to be doing a signing, and then we're going to have
great.
a private screening of the movie. And then we're going to do Chiller Theater in Jersey. And then we're going to have another screening in Manhattan. That's going to be in October. And somewhere in between, it's going to ask you to help out on this one.
Okay.
We want to do one down here in South Florida.
Well, let's see what we can do. Let's see
Yeah.
if Freddie can help us out with that one and see what we can put together, because I certainly would be all over that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what current, we covered actually, so right now the most current projects is ramping up VIP and getting ready to really roll that out at this point.
Well, and now I'm working with a good friend of mine, David Morrison. He has a company called RD Promo
Okay.
and Safety Works. RD Promo is like a company. They make the best promotional products and branding for a company, and Safety Works does sanitizing and cleaning supplies and chemicals, all natural chemicals we have. And I'm working with him, and I got to just say, he's, when all this happened, he just responded and was there for me, and it means a lot.
Yeah. Well, listen,
Yeah.
there's very telling when you go through a rough time.
Yeah.
Who's left standing?
Oh yeah,
Makes a big
It's tough.
difference.
Yeah.
And you have to remember who those people were.
Yes.
That they're very important, and not to forget your roots.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
But you got to be strong, and like me, I'm not being cocky or anything. I know I'm going to come back. I don't have no doubt about it. I have
I think you have luck written on you in certain aspects
certain
for sure.
ways, luck with roadblocks, but I know I'm going to be fine, and this is going to be my last ride. This is this.
Oh, you say that now.
Yeah,
Just
no,
when
this
you
is
think
it.
you're out, they're gonna pull you right back in.
after this, I'm retiring. This is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of things happening. You've got VIP that's coming back.
Yeah.
And you're working on a book, and then you have the reunion.
Yes.
Rekindling all this. I think got a lot of stuff happening.
You know what's going to be great, though? I'm going to be able to piggyback the reunion with the book signing. At the reunion, I could do the book signing and push the VIP premiere. So
Hey,
it all works.
it all works out.
Yeah.
It all
Yes.
bleeds together at some point or another. If you were to actually give advice to someone that wants to follow your steps and when you were younger and become a young actor,
Yeah.
what would you say to that person? Or to anyone that's listening?
Have a backup plan. Number
That's
one.
actually the best advice.
Yeah, have a backup
always have a
plan.
backup plan.
Yeah, don't think acting's going to pay your bills right away.
Right.
Because it's not. But there's a lot of turn downs, a lot of doors close on you and stuff like that. But like you said, I was lucky. I didn't have that.
Right.
I
But you
landed-
saw a lot.
I saw a lot, yes. And I went on some auditions. When I moved down here, I actually auditioned for Wise Guy, which turned into Goodfellas.
Right,
And I was
right.
told I was too young. I wish I was
really?
told that now. Yeah. I mean, I've read for a lot of. I've met Martin Scorsese. I've met a lot of big people. I've read for a lot of stuff. I'm blessed in a way, but I know actors and actresses that they don't do anything. It's hard.
It's very hard.
Yeah, it's a hard business.
And you have to be thick-skinned.
You have to be able to take rejection.
Yep. It is.
Kind of like me with women. You got to be able to take rejection.
Well, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
All right, it's a whole nother
Yeah.
show. So with all that said, here you are today, given your experience in life itself. What's the one thing you tell your kids every day? What's the one advice that you would say? You must go by this rule.
One thing with my kids, I'm not just being a proud parent. I have the best kids in the world. I mean, they have their moments, but I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I drove my parents crazy. They're good kids.
I can't imagine.
My daughter's a ultrasound tech. My son Joey's a real estate appraiser. Amanda's going to school to be a real estate appraiser. They're good kids, and they've seen a lot.
I can't
They've
imagine.
seen a lot, and my oldest daughter, we hang out with her a lot. We have a great relationship, and we talk. She goes, Dad, I should write a book. I see that.
That would be very interesting from the children's perspective.
She's gonna be interviewed for the book too.
I think that's great.
I have three great kids, and I think they're pretty street smart. They know what's
Is
going
that
on.
something that you're born with or taught?
You're born with that.
The street
Yeah.
smarts.
Yeah, it's not taught.
Yeah.
No way.
So, I can say for a fact that coming from New York, I was from one of the other boroughs. I was from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, yeah.
Yep.
Sorry
That was
about
something. Sorry about that.
No, I'm
Hey,
joking.
Brooklyn Heights.
I have a lot of Brooklyn friends.
Brooklyn Heights. Can't
Yeah.
go wrong there.
I got a lot of Brooklyn friends.
Yeah. Well, I know that a lot of great people come out of New York.
Yeah.
And your story, your ability to overcome, and the stories that you've shared, and making iconic movies, and I mean, you've been so blessed in so many different
Thank you.
ways, and I really admire your tenacity.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I really do. You're going to have a really great year.
Yes.
So if somebody wanted to reach out to you for production or anything to that effect, can they do that?
Yeah, at Joe Rubo.
At Joe Rubo,
Yeah.
and that would be
That-
on Instagram
that,
or?
Facebook. I have the Joe Rubo page.
Okay.
I also have the VIP Lifestyle Network page.
Okay.
But at Joe Rubo would be the easiest.
Okay, and
Yeah.
that would be on the Instagram page.
Instagram, Facebook,
Okay.
everything.
At
yeah.
Joe Rubo, easy enough.
Yeah.
I appreciate so much your time
Oh,
here.
thank you. I was looking forward to this.
I
really
know
was.
you were.
Yeah.
You reached out. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I have to have him on.
Yeah, thank you.
And the whole story, again, to
Yeah.
the 80s, anytime.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. You actually were a part of a very, very iconic period in time.
I tell my kids that all the time.
Yeah,
It's a lot different
they
when
don't
I was growing
understand.
up. Yeah.
You can't find music like that today.
No.
And the movies are nowhere like that. And
No.
like I'm channel surfing all the time. I'm like, I just can't find something.
I
to keep
watch
my
the old
attention.
movies.
That's what I do.
Yeah, me too.
The
Thank
black
you.
and whites? No.
No, not that old. Not that old. Thank you.
There's some pretty good ones though. So I really appreciate coming
Thank you
here.
so
You're
much.
welcome anytime.
Thank you.
And when you have the premiere, let's talk
without
about it
a
more.
doubt. Yeah, hopefully I work with you guys real soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll see what we can do to embrace that.
Yes.
And next weekend, we have another great show lined up. So many great things happening. So once again, for those of you that are out there, thanks so much for tuning in. I want to make sure please make sure you follow Denise Casal, and that is on Instagram, Denise Casal _. And also make sure you go ahead and follow me on Facebook. Once again, I'll be on February 26th at the Women Empowerment Seminar. That's Saturday, February 26th at 6 p.m. And you can actually go on to the Facebook page to find it or Google it. Again, Deep Roots presents Women Empowerment. I really hope to see you there. Other than that, you all have a great weekend. Be safe and make it the best. And whatever you're going through, tomorrow's another day. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
You have been listening live to the one and only timeless Denise as she helps you bring in your weekend with a smile. If you wish to contact Denise and be on the show, call us at 866-224-5422 or email Denise at poweredupradiotv.show and tell us how your business shapes up the weekend. Again, call us at 866-224-5422 and make your mess our message.